Hi and welcome back to another video here from CES. We are now at HP and we want to take a look at the Transcend 14 notebook. We had a connection already with HP several years ago reviewing the X2S notebook, which was coming with liquid metal. Now they have something also very exciting when it comes to performance on the space that it utilizes. It is a 14-inch notebook and it comes with an RTX 4070. This is the Transcend 14, and if you look at just the surface finish, that is something, or I would say my first impression that I had, feels really high quality. Nice surface finish. Also on the back side, HP OMEN logo, feels extremely nice. Like the build quality, perfect. The first thing you will also notice is the screen, which is 120 Hz OLED. It is 14-inch and the resolution is 2880 times 1800, so it's a 16:10 resolution and 120 Hz, which means that it feels extremely fluent and the colors are very bright, very nice. And it's 100% DCI-P3, so if you want to use it for any kind of video editing or photo editing, then it's definitely suitable for that. And because of the small size, it was also quite light with only 1.6 kilogram. If we turn it around and take a look at the back side, you can see the intake for cooling, because obviously you will wonder if this is running an RTX 4070 at 14-inch size, how well is it going to cool? I also asked the TGP of the GPU is 80 watt, which is definitely lower than what the RTX 4070 could do in theory, but it's still fairly good cooled, I would say, for the size. The entire area here is the intake. And as you can see, there is no outtake on the left side or on the right side, which is definitely beneficial if you want to play games with it, because otherwise I personally think if you have exit on left or right and you have, for example, your mouse sitting next to it, can be quite annoying if your hand is getting warm through the cooling. All the hot air is just coming out from the back. When it comes to connectivity, we have dual USB Type-A on the right. And on the left, we have USB Type-C and audio jack. And in addition, on the back side, that's something I missed on the first side, there is an HDMI in the center and also a USB Type-C next to it. But obviously, it's a 14-inch notebook, doesn't have so much space. It's also very small. It's only 17 millimeter in height, which means that if you're looking for, let's say, Ethernet connector, you will have to bring your USB Type-C to Ethernet connector, for example. There will be different versions of it. The base is always Meteor Lake, as you can see right here. And you will have the choice between like a 4050, 4060, 4070. SSD starts from 512 GB, goes up to 2 TB, but I'm not sure how those different versions are tied together. Like, I'm not sure if you can get 4050 with 2 TB. It's something I still have to figure out. And the battery should be, I think, sufficient size with 71 watt-hour. Especially thinking about that the TGB is 80 watt, which is fair. And I think it's also something that makes sense when it comes to the size of the notebook, because obviously with 14 inches, you cannot dissipate like 200 watt. It's pretty interesting because I only have about 15 minutes to shoot this video. I still quickly downloaded Cinebench R23 and also like hardware info to do some basic check when it comes to performance and thermals and everything. It's interesting that the Meteor Lake is peaking out at 108 degrees Celsius, which makes sense though, because if you would cap it at a lower temperature, then you would definitely lose performance. You can see the peak CPU package power in R23 was 83 watt. So in that regard, without running any kind of 3D load, the performance on the CPU is still going to be really good. As you can also see, for a 14-inch notebook, it's 17,000 points, which is definitely very solid for a small device like that. There seems to be a Kioxia SSD built in, which is definitely great. It's a good brand. It has 2 TB of capacity, quickly ran CrystalDiskMark. Read is definitely great, 6,000 megabytes per second, and also write 6,000 megabytes per second. So very fast SSD, and I think with 2 TB capacity should also be sufficient. The CPU in this specific device is a Core Ultra 9 Meteor Lake, as I pointed out, and it's coming with 6 P cores, 8 E cores, and the 2 low-power CPU cores. If you're more interested in this kind of setup, then I would recommend my recent video where it was showing also a wafer of this and explained a bit more about the CPU. The memory is soldered on, and in this version we have 16 GB, but there is also going to be a 32 GB version available. In the exhibition area I also spotted a black version, and then on the spec sheet I also checked that it's LPDDR5X, which means that it's going to be high speed, 7467 MHz. That was our quick look into the HP OMEN Transcend 14. A very interesting device, especially if you take a look at what kind of performance you can get out of this very small form factor. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time anymore to check 3D performance, but already the 2D performance was very promising. So I think I might look into this again once I get my hands on a retail device, and then maybe we will do a follow-up video. So thanks for tuning in. Till next time. Bye-bye.